You made it. Everyone had a great time and now you are ready to complete your last steps. The final form that you will need to complete will be the employee expense statement. Remember, the most up-to-date versions of all travel forms are located in the far right menu box located under Travel Forms on the Professional Learning page. Download and open the form. It will open in Excel. Enable editing. This form has self-populating fields. All calculations are done for you according to the state requirements for reimbursement. It is very important that you do not change any amounts listed in the gray boxes. You will need to complete all areas of personal information including your full name and social security number. The first critical box that you need to complete in the top section will be the departure date. This is the date that you will begin calculating your reimbursement expenses. The second critical box in the top section will be your return date. This is the last date that you are eligible to receive reimbursement. The state requires that travel dates, your departure and return, be calculated at a 75% rate. The form will automatically calculate these rates for you based on the information that you enter. Please be sure that you enter the correct dates on your form. The date that you entered in your departure field must be the first date on your line item reporting. You are not required to enter a time and you may leave this part blank. Remember, this is a line item associated with a date. In the From and To section, please record your point of departure using a specific reference point such as home, or your school followed by your specific destination. In the next column, you will enter in the total amount of miles to reach your destination. In the case of Dr. Robinson, the amount entered would be 65 miles based on the distance between the board office and her selected hotel. The form will automatically generate the amount to be reimbursed based on the mileage entered. You do not need to calculate your mileage. In the next column, enter in your total daily per diem. In most cases, this will be $28. In the meals provided column, if a meal was provided to you by the conference or hotel on this day, you must deduct that amount here. For example, if the conference had a welcome dinner the night of Dr. Robinson's departure, she would type 15 in the space. The amount of $15 would then be subtracted from her daily rate, then 75% of that total would be calculated and shown in the total subsistence column. Dr. Robinson is only eligible for her stated rate regardless of the cost of her meals. She does not need to maintain receipts, nor is she eligible for reimbursement if she goes over her daily rate. Your lodging has been prepaid, so you should not have any expenses to report here. The final column is for any incurred parking expenses. Please make sure you keep a copy of all receipts listed in this column. You will want to make 2 copies, one for you and one for just in case. Your original receipt will be submitted with your form. You may not submit expenses such as pay-per-view movies, entertainment, gifts, etc. in the other column. If the hotel in which you are staying does not provide free internet services, there is a policy in place for you to check out a hotspot for internet usage. Please do not purchase hotel internet as it is not a reimbursable expense. Continue to add individual dates for your event. Skip columns that you do not incur expenses. You are only able to add 1 day's per diem on each line. Dr. Robinson is eligible for $28 every day of her trip. Her expense form should have this amount listed in the daily per diem field for each day of her trip. Please remember to subtract your covered meals. Remember, Dr. Robinson has a buffet breakfast provided by her hotel. She will need to deduct the amount identified for breakfast, or $6 each day of her stay. If a luncheon is provided, or a dinner, she must also deduct that amount on that day. For example, on the second day of her conference, she will be attending an administrator's luncheon as part of her conference package. She will deduct $13 in the covered meals section. This will reflect the total of $6 for breakfast and the allotted $7 for lunch. Once you have completed the form for the specified trip, you will need to save and print the form for signatures. Remember, the gray boxes will auto-populate. You do not have to do any math or calculations. The form will calculate everything for you. Do not forget to save a copy of this form. This form will save in an editable format in the event that you have made mistakes. If you do not save this form, and you do make a mistake, you will need to completely redo the form before it will be approved for reimbursement. You are now ready to compile your final submission packet. The first item you will need will be a printed copy of the approved absence relief form. Remember, you were asked to save the emailed copy from the district office. You will also need a printed copy of your approved expense quote. And finally, you will need the original of your fully completed and signed expense form. Take this packet to your instructional coach or assigned building expert for review. Once all of your forms have been reviewed for accuracy, they will be submitted to the district office for reimbursement.